From the moment you hear the word Jeep, an image instantly appears in your mind, an image of rugged strength, of a vehicle that doesn't simply drive but conquers, of a machine that doesn't just transport but tells a story. Jeep is more than an automobile brand, it is a symbol of freedom, exploration, resilience, and history. Every curve in its design, every sound of its engine, and every trace of dirt on its tires whispers the tales of mountains scaled, rivers crossed, deserts endured, and wars won. To talk about Jeep is to unfold a saga that stretches across battlefields, highways, forests, and city streets, a journey where man and machine merge in the spirit of adventure. The story of Jeep begins during one of the darkest and most challenging times in modern history, World War II. In 1940, when the U.S. Army issued a call for a light reconnaissance vehicle, no one could have predicted that what followed would create an icon. The requirements were strict. The vehicle had to be lightweight, durable, able to carry troops and weapons, climb steep terrains, and survive harsh battle conditions. More than 130 companies were invited to bid, but only 3 responded: American Bantam Car Company, Willys Overland, and Ford. Bantam designed the first prototype, but it was Willys and Ford who perfected it and scaled production. What emerged was the Willys MB, the original Jeep, a boxy, rugged, no-nonsense machine that became as essential to soldiers as their rifles and helmets. On the battlefield, the Jeep was unstoppable. It could plow through mud, climb hills, dash through forests, and ferry troops quickly across landscapes that would stop ordinary vehicles dead in their tracks. Soldiers fell in love with it. They used it for everything, as ambulances, supply carriers, reconnaissance cars, and even weapon platforms. General Dwight D. Eisenhower himself famously declared that America's victory in World War II would not have been possible without 3 crucial tools: the C-47 airplane, the bazooka, and the Jeep. By the end of the war, nearly 650,000 Jeeps had been built, and when the dust of battle settled, the Jeep had earned not only military glory but also the hearts of civilians around the world. After the war, the Jeep transitioned from soldier to civilian. Farmers, adventurers, and explorers all wanted a vehicle that could handle the roughest conditions. The Jeep CJ, or civilian Jeep, was born. Its simple design, go-anywhere capability, and rugged charm made it a favorite for those who worked on fields, climbed mountains, or simply sought freedom off the paved road. It wasn't about luxury or glamour, it was about purpose, strength, and character. Owning a Jeep meant you were someone who wasn't afraid of the dirt, the rain, or the challenge of the road less traveled. Through the decades, Jeep evolved. The Wrangler, perhaps the most iconic of all Jeep models, became the face of off-road adventure. With its removable doors, fold-down windshield, and rugged stance, it captured the essence of freedom. You didn't just drive a Wrangler, you lived with it, you shared adventures with it, you made memories around campfires with it parked nearby. Whether it was climbing the Rubicon Trail in California, cruising along sandy dunes, or simply navigating a snowstorm in the city, the Wrangler carried the spirit of the original Willys MB. But Jeep didn't stop there. It diversified. It expanded into SUVs like the Cherokee and Grand Cherokee, vehicles that combined off-road toughness with modern comfort and luxury. The Grand Cherokee in particular proved that Jeep could be both a wilderness warrior and a city cruiser, a vehicle that looked just as good parked at a 5-star hotel as it did splattered with mud in the forest. Jeep understood something vital. People wanted adventure, but they also wanted comfort, safety, and technology. And so Jeep built vehicles that embodied both. Jeep's DNA, however, never changed. Whether you were sitting in a Compass, a Renegade, a Gladiator pickup, or the classic Wrangler, you felt something unique. The 7-slot grille, the high ground clearance, the strong stance, it all whispered one word: capability. Jeep became not just a car but a lifestyle. Owners waved to each other on the road, a silent acknowledgement of shared spirit. Clubs formed, off-road adventures were organized, and Jeep became a global community. To own a Jeep meant to be part of something larger than yourself. What sets Jeep apart is its philosophy. Most car brands talk about performance, luxury, or style. Jeep talks about freedom. It invites you to leave the ordinary behind, to explore where others fear to tread, to look at a mountain not as a barrier but as an invitation. Jeep commercials don't just show cars, they show journeys, landscapes, challenges, and triumphs. A Jeep isn't about reaching a destination, it's about the path you take to get there and the memories you make along the way. Over the years, Jeep has adapted to changing times. It embraced technology, from advanced 4-wheel drive systems to modern safety features. It innovated with hybrid and electric options like the Wrangler 4Z, proving that sustainability and adventure can go hand in hand. Jeep looks at the future while holding firmly onto its past, ensuring that while the mechanics may evolve, the soul remains untouched. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Jeep, the tires gripping the earth, the engine humming with restrained power. The road ahead is uncertain, rocks, mud, streams, maybe even snow, but you don't hesitate. You press forward because you know the Jeep can handle it. You roll down the window, breathe in the air of the wild, feel the sun on your skin or the rain on your face, and suddenly, you realize that life isn't about comfort zones. It's about moments like this, when machine and nature collide, when you embrace challenge instead of avoiding it. That is the Jeep experience. Even in cities, a Jeep makes a statement. Parked on busy streets, it stands apart, bold and unyielding, a reminder that beneath the concrete lies earth, and beyond the skyline lie mountains waiting to be climbed. It's a vehicle that doesn't blend in, it commands attention. Its boxy frame, large tires, and iconic grille say, "I am built for more than just this." Jeep has also embedded itself deeply into culture. Movies, TV shows, and countless adventures have featured it. From war documentaries to action blockbusters, from safaris in Africa to mountain expeditions in South America, the Jeep is a universal symbol of adventure. It transcends borders and languages. Whether you're in the deserts of the Middle East, the jungles of South America, or the highways of North America, a Jeep is instantly recognizable and respected. But perhaps the most fascinating part of Jeep's legacy is the bond it creates with people. Jeep owners often describe their vehicles not as machines but as companions. They name them, decorate them, and customize them. They share stories of near impossible trails conquered, of nights spent under the stars, of friendships built around a shared love for exploration. Jeep is not just steel and rubber, it's emotion, memory, and spirit. The Jeep brand has survived wars, economic downturns, changing markets, and fierce competition. Yet, it remains strong because it never strayed from its identity. From the Willys MB of the 1940s to the Wrangler 4Z of today, Jeep has stayed true to its promise to deliver freedom, adventure, and capability. And in doing so, it has built not just vehicles but legends. So the next time you see a Jeep rolling down the road, think beyond the machine. Think of the soldier in World War II relying on it to survive. Think of the farmer using it to plow his fields. Think of the family exploring trails on a weekend getaway. Think of the countless individuals who, with a Jeep, decided to take the road less traveled and discovered not just places but themselves. The Jeep is not just a car. It is a symbol of resilience, an icon of adventure, and a promise of freedom. It tells us that the world is not meant to be observed from afar but to be touched, experienced, and conquered. Whether on the battlefield, in the wilderness, or in the city, the Jeep continues to remind us that life is best lived when you dare to explore beyond the horizon. That is the legacy of Jeep. That is the spirit that drives it forward. And that is why, decade after decade, generation after generation, Jeep continues to inspire those who refuse to stay still, those who long for the open road, those who dream of the adventure waiting just beyond the bend.